Welcome to A Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach with Mark Gellard and Reid, sponsored by the ERT 300. Well, hello everyone and welcome to Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. And I've been looking forward to this interview for quite some time. It is with the now retired Wes Koolhof. Wes, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a few months in the making. The last time we met was in a hotel in Bologna. It sounds a bit dodgy. It's not, of course, because you were in Davis Cup action. I was there to do the commentating and reporting on court. The Netherlands got through to the final 8 in Malaga, and that is where you finished your career. So I suppose my first question is, how's retirement? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you bored yet?
No, not at all. No, loving it. Of course, like you said, Malaga was the last piece of action I had on the tennis court, which was mid-November, I think. So I think after that, up to now, I've spent 1.5 hours on court, maybe. So I'm not missing it at all. Plenty of things to do here. We have 2 dogs at home, so no, the days are pretty filled by other stuff. Nothing which has nothing to do with tennis.
I remember when we first spoke, which I think was 2023 in Eastbourne, and you were always so personable, and I really appreciate that about you. And you mentioned your dogs, and anyone to me that likes animals is a good person. And I know your dogs are very important in your life, as is, of course, your wife. So tell us about your dogs and married life.
Well, I'm married now to Julia, formerly Julia Görges, of course, a former WTA player as well. She retired in 2020, and that's basically when we met, end of 2019, on the wedding of also former WTA player Kiki Bertens. Basically ran into each other, and things started going from there. So I've been together now for what is it, five years almost, or more than 5 years. So no, things are going well. We adopted a dog, a rescue dog from Bulgaria, through basically friends of Julia, and now since a year we have a second one. Also rescue dogs. So no, we're busy. We're busy at home, walking a lot with the dogs, and no, they're a blessing. Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it, when you're playing professional tennis to have animals? But Julia had retired by the time you were playing, so I suppose she was looking after the dogs. You were playing. She didn't travel a huge amount, did she? How did you find that worked?
Correct. She was home most of the time, I would say. Of course, we spoke about it when we got the dog, or the idea to adopt a rescue dog. She mainly spent every week at home. She traveled a little bit with me here and there, but she was basically pretty done with the tennis life and the tennis tournaments. She stopped during Corona because, like everyone knew, or everyone know, it was not that much fun to play at that time. Of course, couldn't really go out for dinner or for walks. It was basically hotel and tennis court and testing every 2 days, so there was nothing for her. So at the end of 2020, during the winter Roland Garros, as we call it, she stopped. After that, actually, she bought a new house, left Regensburg, where she was practicing before, moved closer to the Dutch border, which was very helpful for me, of course. And from that moment on, we started living together and basically share everything together. And then the dogs came, and she was home most of the time, looking after the dogs, which in the end also made my decision easier to stop, because I also wanted to be a bit more involved at home.
Do you talk about tennis? Did you talk about tennis when you were both playing, or are there other topics that you mainly chat about?
Yeah, a bit. We basically spent, I think, the first 3 months together. Well, we started in Australia. We obviously had the first 4 or 5 weeks together, which was nice on the tour. So there you talk a bit about played matches and stuff. You watch each other's matches and those things. And then after those first 3 months or 2.5 months, I guess there was no tennis for for 5 months after that, and then a few more tournaments, and then she stopped. So there was not much to talk about or to discuss in that period of time. But afterwards, she was very helpful in my career. Talked with her a lot about also decision making and stuff, and she knows her stuff. So that was very helpful for me. Yeah.
Did you ever think about becoming a coach after you stopped playing? Will you? Is that something that you might think about?
Well, I actually just got assigned as a assistant coach for the Davis Cup, an upcoming tie. But I got approached by a few players to basically ask me if I'm looking to do some weeks on tour, travel wise. But basically, the reason why I stopped is because I want to be home.
Right.
And don't want to travel that much. So yeah, I'm not committing to any player for traveling for 15 weeks, and I could still have played myself. So I said, for now, in the next year, 2, 3 years, not. This job is easy to do. It's just I'll be at the US Open then to see all the guys play. But it's different than going away 15, 20 weeks a year. So the rest of the year I'll be home. So yeah, that was one of the biggest reasons I stopped playing myself, is just to be home and basically start a family.
Do you think in your playing career you had a bit of an obsessive streak? I'm always intrigued by professional tennis because I would consider myself to be a failed one. I got a world ranking, got to the 25,000 level, but I don't think I ever loved tennis quite enough to get to the top level. Did you love it enough? Were you obsessed? What was your characteristics, particularly when you were younger?
Yeah, I loved it. I watched it on TV when I was younger. When I was playing, not so much. Basically, for tactics and everything, of course, you watch the doubles, the doubles teams and the doubles matches, or if there's a match tiebreak going on somewhere. But I would never, if it's a final of Wimbledon, I would never sit on the couch and watch the full 5 sets. I would always tune in somewhere in after set 2 or something. Then I'd rather watch a football or a soccer match. Um, so I was not obsessed with it. I knew I loved it. Of course, it's the reason why I started playing, because I liked it and loved it, and I was good at the game. But um, I think fun is the main reason to play tennis, or basically play any sport. So now I wouldn't call me obsessed with the game, but I mean, it brought me a lot in life. So I'm also not hating it or resenting it at the moment. So yeah, it's been part of my life for the last, I don't know, 30 years almost. So I will always cherish it and love the sport.
You're a twice major champion, a former world number one. But I'd imagine, given that your father was a professional Dutch football player, your brother also played very high level football, that you had the choice at some point. Was that a choice you made for a reason? Were you just better at tennis? How did it go down?
Yes, basically, I had the choice myself. My mom was also an field hockey international.
Yes.
So I never played field hockey though, but I played soccer or football, you want to call it. I played both until I was 10, 11. Then I had to choose because I couldn't combine it anymore. I was already practicing football with different teams and everything. So it was yeah, tough to do. So I had the choice myself. My dad never pushed me in a direction, my mom neither. So I chose tennis because I liked it, and at that point it was an individualistic sport, which I liked at that point better. I had some tough deals sometimes with my teammates in on the football pitch, and yeah, I mean, if I would lose my match, and then I was the only one to blame in tennis, and in football it was more sometimes the other players in my team. Okay, in the end I started playing doubles more, of course, so it's more of a team sport than tennis in singles. But no, that was basically the reason why I chose tennis. I could also play it better. I was better in tennis anyway.
Delighted to say that Mark Gellard has jumped in. Mark is in between India and Wales and Miami. He's been practicing with his player Magdalene in Miami. Hello, Mark.
Hey guys, hey Wes. Sorry I couldn't make it earlier, but thanks a lot for joining us.
No
Have
problem.
you two ever met, Wes and Mark?
I've seen Wes around a lot. I mean, he's a good-looking doubles player, so I see him around on the tour.
Are you calling him a good-looking guy, or are you calling him a good-looking tennis player?
Good-looking guy, yeah, exactly. I don't like to
I
stand
think
too
he's
close
married
to him.
now,
It makes
but
me
I
feel
think I'd
sad.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Tennis game wasn't bad either. Well, welcome, Mark. We've just been discussing sort of Mark Wes's early life and married life and retirement now, and the fact that his father was a professional footballer, his mum an international hockey player, his brother also a good footballer. And when I commentate Wes, I'm always struck by the fact that so many professional tennis players have hugely sporting backgrounds. I'd imagine that helps, especially in the early days when your parents can sort of guide you in the correct way. Was that what happened with you?
Yes, definitely. There are no negatives about that. No, they brought me up well. They knew, or they told me what to do, how to get to the top, or try to get to the top, of course. And they knew what was at stake and what I should do and what I should not do, especially what I should not do. So no, it was very, very helpful. Yeah, only positives about that.
Mark, have you got a question for Wes?
Yeah, I would like to ask Wes about his singles career and then the transition into doubles. And, there's a lot of talk about doubles right now. You've probably been hearing some of the comments from some of the players, Riley Opelka last week and John McEnroe in the past and all of this. I'd love to get your thoughts on that situation.
Yeah, well, my singles career was 462 was the highest. Of course, I started playing singles first. I also started practicing in Germany, in Halle Westfalen to improve my singles game. Until the point that I found that I was too inconsistent. I could beat players top 200, but I could also easily lose against guys with no ranking or with a very low ranking. So I was up and down. And in Holland, basically, you get brought up by a lot of doubles matches, playing mixed doubles, playing men's doubles in the leagues you play when you were younger. So, and I liked playing it. I thought it was fun. I knew my way around the doubles court a bit more than other players. So at one point, I was playing doubles, or I was doing both. Playing singles and doubles, and then my doubles partner at that time, he asked me if I want to stop playing singles and go full time with him doubles. So I did that for a year. Then we split up. I was still playing singles a bit more. Actually, I was doing better at that point in singles because I think the pressure was a bit away. So then my results were good in singles, and then then I found Matwé Middelkoop. And we started playing, and we won 8 challenges, I think. And then within 10 months, I think we played our first ATP. So everything went very fast. And then never looked back. And then just kept on playing doubles. Back then, you're just happy that you play. You don't think about it. You don't think about the money. You don't think about the rules. You just fly everywhere you enter the tournament. In the last 2 years of my career, I also spent in the ATP Player Board as a double representative, and a lot of talk about the doubles. Of course, 10-15 years ago, it was almost or even longer, 15-20 years ago, it was almost done. The doubles, it was not existing anymore. So at least we still have it, and we should be thankful that we can still play it, of course. But yeah, a bit of improvement here and there would definitely help.
What do you agree with
Sorry, Candy.
I don't know if you heard that, Wes. I'd love to know what you think the improvement needs to be. And following from Mark's point, are you fearful for doubles as it stands?
Well, we got the reassurance that there's nothing going to happen, nothing bad going to happen. They will not get rid of it. I think still it's a sport that needs to be looked into a bit more. You can make much more out of it. We were part of the big doubles review this year because they basically never did anything about doubles in the last 20 years. And there's a big transition, of course. I mean, back in the day, it was the singles guys who had their singles career. When they got towards the end of the singles career, they played a bit of doubles. So everyone knew who the big guys were. But now you have 24, 25-year-olds just coming to play doubles, and no one knows who they are. They have no clue. So they need a bit more marketing and promotion. And then I think that's the the problem at the moment that there is not enough marketing and not enough promotion going on. And then, there's always the pros and cons with the singles guys, of course. I mean, at one hand, we need the singles guys, especially the top, because looking back on my career, every time I played against the big guys, of course, my last match was against Alcaraz. Bad example. It was in Spain in the quarterfinal of the Davis Cup, but it's full house. I mean, I played Alcaraz in Madrid. It's full. And then sometimes you play a final against, let's say Indian Wells last year. I played against Canolo Ceballos, which is an unbelievable doubles team, and they've been around for the last 10 years. But the stadium is, let's say 25% filled. It's doubles became so tactically high standard. There's so much serve power now. There's so much net pressure. There's so much pressure on your return to put the return in. That I think the average rally of a doubles match is maybe, I think it was around 4 shots. Which is serve, return, volley, and that's it. So there's not much long rallies involved, and that's a bit of the problem we feel. Do we need to change the whole setup of doubles? Do we need to get rid of 2 serves? Do we need to just start in a cross rally or whatever? I mean, of course, the people want to see great rallies and reflexes and stuff, and it happens during the match. But if it's more than 10 times, then it doesn't happen that much. So it's a bit of an issue now, also with all the Masters, of course, being 2 weeks. For the doubles guys, we found it was a bit boring from time to time, playing one match, having 2 days off, playing another match. So they're trying to see which way to go. Like I said, we need the singles guys to promote it, to come out, and I mean, fans are coming to see them basically. And then that's the only way to see us play as well, and then they can say, oh, those guys are actually not bad, let's follow them a bit more throughout the year. We need the top guys, but as long as the top guys are still in the singles tournament, then you have a withdrawal here and there, which is then also bad for the sport. So it's a lot of pro and cons, and it's an ongoing debate.
Would you say, Wes, I'm just paraphrasing from Riley, but he said he felt that the doubles players were failed singles players and that nobody aims to become a doubles player? For me, I love watching the doubles, and I think that not the issue, but the thing with doubles is that most people that come and watch professional tennis play doubles. So like even the people watching the singles matches, they're mainly playing doubles. There's not many people recreationally that are watching tennis and playing singles. They usually go play doubles. Do you agree with that comment? And what's your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't call us failed tennis players. I mean, everyone. There's plenty of examples also with Canolos, Bolelli, all those Favasori, all those guys who have been Ceballos. I mean, have been unbelievable singles players. At one point, just transition into doubles. But nowadays, like I said, you also see 22, 23, 24-year-olds. I mean, we had Mate Pavic, who was, I think, number 1 in the world on, I don't even know how old he was, like early 20s. Joe Salisbury, same thing. No one heard of Joe before he started playing doubles. But I mean, the money is good. So if you feel like, okay, I'm not going to make it into singles, then you have every right to say, if you're 22 years old, you're going to say, okay, I'm sorry, I'm never going to make it into singles. I'm going to try my best in doubles. And you still have to need the talent and the work ethic, and still need to go through all the stages of the lower tier tennis tournaments. But of course, we're never going to, if we play a set against Tsitsipas, of course we're gonna lose. That's for sure. We're happy if we get 1 or 2 games, but we do different stuff. We have different approaches to practices. I mean, we don't have to run 2.5 hours on court left right, but we have other things to focus on and to do, and we have other let's say possibilities and a different way of looking at a doubles court, I mean, there's no reason. Like always, if there's two singles guys playing against two doubles guys, it's always a tight match. Mostly the doubles guys winning. So, but I can understand how Riley. Yeah, well, Riley always has a pretty, let's say, different view on things, I would say. But yeah, I mean, he was a topic of discussion during our board meetings. Yeah.
It'd be
Can I
quite
also ask
ironic,
as a
wouldn't it, if Riley's injury spurts up again and then he decides that he can't play singles anymore and starts joining the doubles tour.
So I missed the start of the question, sir.
Yeah, I said it might be quite ironic if Riley gets injured again, because he's just coming back from a long-term injury, gets injured again and decides that he can no longer play singles and he's going to have to play full-time on the doubles tour. He might get a little bit of a jib if he does that. I wonder, Wes, if you could tell us what makes a good doubles partner, because you've had a few. You've had so much success with Neil Skupski and then latterly with Nikola Mekic. How do you make the decision to pick a partner? Does the chemistry have to be right? Do they have to play a particular side and prefer that?
Yeah, there's many things you can pick or pick your partner based on. If you want to play lefty or righty, all these things. I mean, I played the last 15 years of my career on the Jew side. So I'd prefer at one point the Jew side. I can obviously play the Ed side, but it will just take a bit more time to get used to everything because you do everything opposite than you're used to. But yeah, you need some luck with it as well. I mean, my first doubles partner was Matwé Middelkoop, like I said. Everything clicked because we had two completely different personalities. Me very introvert, he was very extrovert, which helps because it basically combines you into one person. But you also know that at one point it will collide and it will make a huge explosion and it's over. Then you rather maybe have two of the same personalities, but if you have two, let's say, softer characters, then it's also not going to work. So, and I personally always found it important to have someone you can also spend some time off the court with. So you have something in common. There's also, some teams who are just basically doing it very business. We see each other on court and that's it. When the practice is done, I'll see you tomorrow. We're not going to dinner. We're not doing anything. We're just keeping it strictly business. For me personally, I'd like to know my doubles partner a bit more like also private life and stuff. And so you can see how people react in certain moments on court when it's stressful or important points and stuff like that. You need to have those conversations in the beginning, how to approach things. If someone's not playing great, am I the one who's saying something to him, or am I waiting for him to open up to me? Those things you need to discuss. You need the same idea of the amount of practice, all those things. So it's if you have two good doubles players separately from each other, it's still not a guarantee that it will click and that it will be a great team.
Can I ask, with you playing doubles and obviously you've had so much success. What's your last year at Wimbledon? I was watching Magda's doubles, and obviously Magda's a primarily singles player, and I was sort of thinking with all the discussions about what might change with doubles. Did you have any thoughts of anything you would change from a rules standpoint? Because, for example, one of the things I felt was, doubles can typically is a little bit quicker, the points. And they maybe have two service games, and then at Wimbledon, I think you get 90 seconds or 2 minutes of a changeover. I sort of said, I think we should remove the changeover time in the doubles to speed it up a little bit, and maybe just have set breaks. At the end of each set, you get your 2 minutes or 90 seconds. Was there anything that you thought as a rule or things that could be done to improve the way the format of doubles, whether it's a score, they've removed the ad scoring, things like this. Is there anything you would have done or suggest doing?
Yeah, we had a lot of discussions about it because we trialed some things starting in Madrid, different draws, sizes, different composition of teams, all those things. But basically the thing on court was we found that there was too much dead time. I agree with you. That the points were short. I think it was on average maybe 3 seconds, 3.1 seconds or something. And then there's a 25-second shot clock. Then you have that 4 times, and then you sit down for 90 minutes. Oh, sorry, 90 seconds. Then you walk to the other side and you do the same thing again. So in the end, you had 5 minutes of playing time in, I don't know, half an hour of match time. So we found that we needed to speed it up a little bit. So we trialed it. Some players said, yeah, great. Some players not. We always like to, I don't know, let's say be a bit picky or a bit paranoid with some rule changes. But that's the only thing we did. We could have gone more, and we could have said, okay, we're only going to do one serve, for example, to get less pressure on the return, to have a bit more rallies, those things. But then you create longer points, which then creates longer match times. And basically, ATP spoke to TV providers to get feedback, because we want to be shown on, let's say, ESPN or Eurosport and stuff, but they're not broadcasting us. So we asked, why are you not broadcasting us? And they said, there's no time, like no time frame. It can be an hour, it can be 2.5 hours, and singles is our priority, which is of course logically and totally fine. But they said if you can somehow reduce the time to, I don't know, 70 minutes maximum, then we can schedule it into a slot on center court or something, and then you can broadcast it. But the way it was played now, it can be an hour. It can sometimes be, I mean, if it's on a slow clay court or hard court, and it can be also longer than 2.5 hours. We trialed a little bit with the quicker changeovers, less 15 seconds between points, those kind of things. So I'm not sure how it will evolve in the future, but that's what we came up with last year, and it did reduce the time by a lot. But I mean, they have to find something to make it, I don't know, more attractive. And some countries, I mean, in Wales, it's always on the outside court, it's always full. Doesn't matter who you play. If there's 4 doubles guys playing, or 4 WTA players, doubles players, I mean, no one knows them, but they're still watching, because it's also a bit of an older generation, of course. But then also some other countries. I mean, I played Miami, for example. We played the final, me and Neil against. I played 2, me and Stefanos Tsitsipas against the Bryan brothers. Well, you cannot get any better names, I would say, than those 3, except for me. But stadium was 50% full. So then I'm like, okay, then there's something not attractive enough about the doubles game itself. It was the same with me and Neil. We played Hurkacz Isner. I mean, 2 unbelievable singles guys, even John Isner, who everyone knows in America. And still was 50-60% full. So I'm like, okay, there's something not attractive enough about the doubles game. If there's not enough rallies, if it's too slow, too boring to watch, I don't know. But they have to figure. We try to figure it out, and we try to adjust a few things. But it's also tough to try all those things. Let's see where the future will take it. But at least they tried something, and they were open for ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wes, my turn. I'd love to know what you miss most about the professional tennis tour, and what you miss least. Just thinking of Mark having been in Indian Wells, and now in Miami, there's constant traveling, hotel stays. There's a lot of pressure and stress, and obviously sadness when you lose, elation when you win. So tell us the highs and lows.
Well, the main reason I stopped is the travel, being away from home for multiple weeks. I mean, in Europe, it's easier, of course. If you lose early, then you fly home, and then 2 or 3 days later, you're gone again. But even that was at one point tough. You just live out of your suitcase. You don't unpack anymore. And I felt like every time I went home, I just brought the laundry to Julia. And then 2 days later, I left again. So I was basically feeling a guest in my own house. Which was not good for me, and especially also not good for Julia, of course. One thing I miss most, I would say, is the adrenaline before going on court, saving match point, making match points, those things. But that's just pure the on-site, on-court things. of course, I always love being at Indian Wells, even if I'm not there for tennis, but just the environment there, just to be part of the tournament, those things, especially in the beginning of my career. Um, but I think those things I don't miss yet, but I guess I will start missing at one point. But like I said, just the adrenaline rush on court, those crazy points, saving match points, those things, winning titles. But yeah, also the from going from hotel to hotel to the traveling part is something I'm not missing at all. Oh, and tournament food sometimes, because I'm looking at Miami at the moment, which was never great.
That's terrible.
So yeah, those things. I mean, now you can just eat whatever you want and cook whatever you want, and which is a bit nicer than the very very overcooked pasta in Miami.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, still good. Every year we fill out a
Yeah.
survey that the food is not good, but apparently they're not improving.
Mark told me about Chinese tournaments, and I got to experience that last year in Beijing. And I have to say, that was the best food at a tournament I've experienced. Is there one place, Mark and Wes, that you thought this is number one?
China used to be very bad, I have to say. I mean, I played, I don't know, it's the first time 6-7 years ago, I think, in Beijing, and food was basically the main thing, which was tough as a European. Not easy because you don't know what you get. You're not going out for dinner in restaurants and stuff. I mean, we went out in restaurants and you get a menu and you have no clue. Because especially back then, 7-8 years ago, no one spoke English. Now it's a little bit better, but also not great. But no, Beijing improved a lot, I have to say. The only thing there, hotels are unbelievable.
Yes.
Especially the player. I mean, you also have the shittier ones, of course, but the player hotels were always unbelievable. Restaurants inside those hotels, very good. So Beijing on-site food was, it's very good. And in general, the tournament is an unbelievable event to play and to be at.
I think I'd have to put Rome or Madrid up there.
Yes, in Europe, I would say, Madrid. Very high-end catering service there.
Yeah.
Same like Vienna for us. But Madrid is and Rome. I always love Rome in the first 3, 4, 5 days, but then after that I cannot see any pasta or pizza anymore. But quality of the food there is also very good. Yes.
I think there's a high correlation between, for me, good, where you can tell where the food is good on the tour and my weight. You know, I always kind of lean out a little bit in that like American swing usually because I don't love it. And then, but that whole European, like just being in France and Italy and then over at home in England, it always put on a few more pounds there.
Yeah, that's yeah. Some tournaments have good ones. Oh, you also sometimes pick the tournament based on the food.
Yeah.
That's something we definitely do.
I don't know if you heard this, guys, but Hugo Berr, the French number one, actually brought his own chef instead of, I think, a coach to Indian Wells because he said the food just doesn't agree with him. Was there ever a time that, Wes, you were at a tournament and I've just been to Acapulco where there was a lot of problems with the food there. Was there ever a time that you remember that you just thought, never again am I going there?
Well, it used to be China actually, because the food was, especially like I said, ATP is good, but I also play challengers there, and then you're like, all right, just close your eyes and eat it. But yeah, some tournaments are known for unbelievable food. Like I said, Vienna, Estoril, I always loved Estoril food, unbelievable. And then there's sometimes, food where you're like, I'd rather don't eat on site, or I'd rather don't have breakfast or whatever, or buy your own things.
Yeah, exactly.
There's plenty of examples to name, but on the ATP tour normally it's good because the standards improved a lot. But I think Miami is the same like Monte Carlo. Actually, the food in Monte Carlo is not great. But Miami is always the one, especially after Indian Wells. Indian Wells improved in the last 2 years, I have to say.
Yeah.
And then you always Miami is always a bit of a downgrade, and then you're not happy to lose, but in the end, when you have to go home, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm okay to go.
It's always better for us because the doubles draw here is always a little bit weaker, and some alternates can sneak in like we do because. In Indian Wells, everyone wants to stay as long as they can and play. But in Miami, I think sometimes once they've lost the singles, they're happy to head out of here and go back to Europe and get ready for the clay. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Now, you two have something in common because, of course, Mark is coaching Magdalene from Poland, and your coach at the last point was Marius Fristenberg. What made him a good coach, Wes, and what do you look for specifically in a coach that you've worked with in the past?
Well, he has to be, first of all, he's a great guy. Unbelievably funny. I shared him.
Yeah.
Well, I had a coach, Marco Cruz. He was a Dutch guy. I was with him for 7-8 years in the beginning of my doubles career. So then at the end of 2021, I stopped working with him. Then I went with Marius and Rob Morgan, English guy. Shared him because I knew Marius already before. I played him once or twice actually. But he's he was the Davis Cup, he still is Davis Cup coach of Poland, and he also at one point was coach of Tim Putz when he played with Freddie Nielsen. So I've seen him around on the tour. But I approached Rob Morgan first actually, but he was in a trial with Dan Evans at that time. So he could only do half a season anyway, if that would work out. So I said, okay, that's fine. Let's do 16 weeks, and then I'll ask someone else to fill in the gaps, and that was Marius in the end. And then for my last year on tour, I decided to only work with Marius. That combination was very good for me because Rob was really the on-court guy, tactical, drilling, all those things, and Marius was more talking out of experience. How to act in certain situations on court. It was very helpful in that. So that combination was very good. But yeah, personally, I like to have some guidance, of course, but I also don't really want, if I miss one shot in the net, then I can still figure it out myself first. If I do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row, then okay, then I need some guidance here. But some coaches are very I don't know. I have no idea how you are, Mark, of course. But some people, if I miss one forehand or one volley into the net, then I get a lecture of 5 minutes saying what I did wrong. I'm absolutely not loving that because I want to improve myself. And of course, I need the help because I'm paying the coach for help. But first, I want to figure out what I did wrong myself. And I normally I can feel what I did wrong and can improve it. But he was very good at that. He didn't say much, not too much, but everything he said was correct, which is always helpful. So no, and above that, it was very fun guy. Kept it very casual as well, and but also work ethics were also good with him.
That's awesome. Rob's a great guy. I know him very well, and he's actually speaking on our coaches education conference we're having this weekend. So we're excited to hear what he has to say. He's very well liked.
Yeah.
I don't know if you both saw the interview that Darren Cahill did on the Caroline Garcia podcast, but he said a coach needs to know some about tactical, some about technical, and some about the emotional. But if a coach says to a player, I'm an expert in all three, he said the player should run a mile because no one is good at tactical, and emotional up to that level. Do you both agree with that?
I did not hear that statement. I can agree with it. Yeah. It's I think Darren is tactical, very very good. And he also says that I'm not doing anything. I think I'm just doing tactically everything. and I'm very good at that. I mean, obviously, it's handy if you are both, but to have all three um, is tough. Yeah, like I could see his point. Yes.
He said Simone Vagnolfi was really the guy that did the technical stuff with Yannick Sinner, and he did a lot of the emotional stuff, and they both together worked on the tactical. Mark, your thoughts on that?
I think that's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment. I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think you can be pretty excellent at all three. I'm sure you're going to have your strengths, but someone like Darren, in order to be really proficient on biomechanics, technique, etc., usually you've had to have worked in an academy setting or worked with developing a lot of different players, because you need to see a lot of different problems and be around a lot of different coaches in order to figure out how you could fix some of those problems. Darren probably has never done that because of his playing and coaching experience. So I would, yes, understand that his technical might not be as good, but he would probably be great in the other two. But he could learn the other stuff. So I don't think it's necessarily as clear cut as that.
All right, Wes, let's move on to your final year, because you announced, didn't you, I think in 2023, that last year was going to be your last year. It turned out to be, but you were unbelievably successful. Were there any misgivings when you finished off 2024 and put down your rackets that perhaps I should play another year?
No, not at all. No, I made the clear choice at the end of 2023. I said I want to go one more year, also because of Davis Cup and the Olympic year. But no, I mean, I got a lot of questions, of course, because we started the year very well. We won Auckland the first week of the year, Rotterdam, Indian Wells. So then people already asking, like, what the hell are you doing? Are you sure? Is there any chance to keep on playing? And I always said, no, this is it. I'm done after this. Still want to go full time, or like 1 full year, full throttle, and let's go. But after that, it's done. So then, yeah, we hit a bit of a rough patch in the middle of the season. We didn't really do great at the slams. But then, yeah, the last few weeks were again unbelievably. So then, the questions came back again in Shanghai. Like why also, yeah, I'm watching, of course, the matches back on Tennis TV. Commentators were also like, is he really retiring? Why is he retiring? What's he doing? And then I made another return winner or something. Surely he's not retiring, and those things. So it was fun to listen to. But no, I was always in the back of my mind to try to stop on a high note. In my opinion, you have three ways of retiring, which is injury, which is one which you basically don't want. B is you just sliding down the rankings because people are just playing too well. You're not having your level anymore, so you basically drop out of sight a little bit and you're forgotten. Or retire whenever you want and you choose the right moment and try to make it as special as possible. Yeah, well, I could not have made it any more special with my last match ever in Malaga. So that I could not have dreamt of basically when I sat in Cincinnati in a room and said, okay, I'm going to play one more year. So the way it ended was, basically a fairy tale almost.
Congrats on the career. No, congrats on that. That's amazing career. I will have to say, unfortunately, my career as a coach is going to end if I don't leave now for the next practice. So I have to run. I'm sorry. I'm 4 minutes away, and Miami is a very big site. We've got another practice now, so I've got to get out to the back courts here. But sorry, I couldn't stay to the end. And Wes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark. Enjoy.
Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you. Bye.
Enjoy the pasta later.
Oh, I can't wait for it. Highlight of the day.
Just finishing up, I'd love to know about that unbelievable match you played against Carlos Alcaraz and Spain in Malaga. Can you just recount the moments, the emotions, and essentially you have ended the retirement and the career of Rafa Nadal by beating Spain. How did that feel?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it was already kind of when the draw came out, and I knew it was going to be my last tournament, of course. It was kind of already some kind of fairy tale ending because the whole world was going towards our match. against Spain in Spain. So we knew it was not an easy assignment, but so yeah, we knew it was something special. And then I think a few weeks before we heard that Rafa was going to play, which made it a bit more extra special, of course, with the reason you just said, his retirement. So then we really knew that the whole world was going to watch, and so much media attention going towards that, not really towards me, but I was pretty okay with that. So yeah, I mean, I came from Turin with a tough loss in the end. Losing, I don't know, even 12-10, I think, in the final group stage match. Broke a record on my on basically the point before match point, so, and didn't even hit a ball on match point. And the last thing I did on ATP Tour was break a record, which I normally don't really do. So yeah, that was not a great way to end things. And then yeah, you're just hoping to be somehow involved, but you never know, which is the shittier thing about the Davis Cup.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, of course, if it's 1-1, it's an unbelievable match. You can win or lose. But yeah, it can also be 2-0 or love 2 when you're done. The year before, or 2 years before, also we lost in the quarters, so we knew, and we got our ass kicked by Sinner Sonigo. I think last year it was in at 1-1 against Italy. So yeah, it was a weird day actually. Because it was tough, because you actually want to watch everything, what you can't, because you have to get ready just in case you play. But yeah, like I said, you don't really know if you're going to play, which is the main problem. So you're doing all your preparations and stuff, not knowing if you're going on court. And yeah, then of course Botic beat Rafa, and then after Talon lost, it's 1-1, and then yeah, you can end his career, and I could also end my career, of course. But I was pretty calm about it. I was just happy to get at least another chance after losing that tight match in Turin with Makic. And yeah, in the end, it was one of the maybe one of the best matches I've played, I would say. And yeah, like I said, to play your last match for your country, with, I think it was like 500, 600, 700 Dutch fans on the stands as well. And yeah, the whole tennis world watching. It was a very high stage to have played my last match.
Very exciting. That is the way. It's sort of like a Hollywood ending, isn't it? Maybe Wes, you'll be in the next blockbuster out of Los Angeles. Now, finally, in Indian Wells, some of the players have been asked about taking a road trip and the 3 people that they would like to join them in the car. So I'd love to ask you that question. Who would you take from your career in the car with you on a long road trip?
Has to be players.
Yeah, let's go with players.
Players for a road trip. Good question. Well, you can have a big road trip in Indian Wells. Let's see, 3 players from whoever I played with, or just against.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can play against them,
matter.
with them, singles, doubles.
Good question. Very good question.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Fun.
It's good. Well, I would pick Neil Skapski.
Okay.
Mainly because he knows the good coffee shops wherever we're going. So we will have some stops along the way at good coffee shops.
You can talk about your Wimbledon championship with him.
Exactly. We can definitely think about that again and talk about it a few more times. Well, who else is there?
Are you driving about this? Are you sitting in the passenger seat, or are you in the back?
No, I'm going to be in the front. I'm not going to be in the back. I'll probably drive. Actually, I like driving.
Yeah.
Especially in America, it's easy to do. So I'll drive or co-drive or whatever we do. Depends how long the road trip is. I would say I would go Makic as well. Of course, my last doubles partner. We did the road trip with him. from Cincinnati to Winston-Salem, which is a solid, I don't know, 6-7 hours, I think.
A lot. You could talk about losing at the US Open doubles final with Nicola.
Yes, again, I could also talk with Neil about that. So we can all talk about that. No, he's an extremely funny guy. So he's good to have around as well. And then let's say one more guy.
Got one more.
It's always tough when you get put on the
We've
spot.
got coffee, we've got fun. So we need a third persona.
Well, thinking, well, if I'm not driving and we need a driver, I would say Hurkacz, because he's always showing up I think he has a McLaren sponsorship.
Yeah.
Especially in Indian
Maybe
Wells, there's always one very bright canary yellow car standing right in front of the entrance, and everyone knew that Hubi was on site.
The only thing is he might drive you off the cliff, depending on how fast he wants to go.
That's also true, but I guess he's a good driver. Otherwise, they won't give him. Otherwise, they won't give him the car every year. So let's do Hubi. Then also the polished, and Marius is a little bit there, so that's good.
And very final question: what tunes are you playing? Are you deciding on the music? Are you letting someone else pick the music?
Someone else can pick the music, but I will definitely intervene if the music is bad. I'm more of a, let's say, 70, 80, 90s guy. So I like the older stuff a bit better. But yeah, no, if Hubi's going to play Polish rap, then I'm out. Yeah.
Could shove him out.
Yes.
Wes Koolhof, thank you so much for chatting. It's been really fun. And I hope retirement treats you as well as your playing career, which was incredibly successful.
Thank you so much, Candy. Thanks.
Thank you for watching Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. Please like, subscribe and share, and we'll be back soon with another great episode.